The self-discrepancy theory was developed by Edward Higgins in 1987. He noticed that previous theories, such as the imbalance theory, only explain positive and negative emotions associated with belief inconsistency in a general sense. As Higgins wanted to assign specific emotions and effects to the disparity, he developed the self-discrepancy theory. Self-discrepancy refers to the gap between actual self-concept and ideal self-concept. It concerns how different types of discrepancies between representations of self are related to different kinds of emotional vulnerabilities. There are three elements of the theory. Actual self refers to the attributes that we believe we actually possess. Ideal self is about what attributes we aspire to possess ideally. Odd self concerns what attributes we think we should have. The greater the magnitude of self-discrepancy, the more the discomfort suffered. The self-discrepancy theory is widely used in marketing. Marketers notice a gap between actual and ideal self-concepts that represents inconsistency. The implication addressed in the book Consumer Behavior states that if marketers perceive consumers as changing their attitudes is important, marketers should communicate information that is congruent with consumers' ideal self-concepts. When consumers evaluate a brand, the ideal self-concept can serve as an important moving target, a goal that consumers seek to attain. They are more likely to be influenced by whether the brand fills this gap. For example, a consumer who wants to achieve preppiness may meet the goal by endorsing Lacoste or Polo Ralph Lauren. On the other hand, if a consumer's ideal self-concept is more edgy, he or she may wear clothing from Saucony. In contrast, if marketers want consumers to remember their brand, names, attributes, and benefits, they should create communications that are consistent with consumers' actual self-concepts. Why? Consumers generally possess well-developed actual self-concept with rich associative networks in their memories, which means he or she is more likely to remember information consistent with her or his actual self-concept. Recalling congruent information also enables consumers to maintain a state of cognitive consonance. In general, consumers are motivated to maintain harmony in their belief systems and between their attitudes and behavior. Thus, if marketing communication fits with consumers' understanding of who they are, the communication facilitates the desired balance. The notion of positioning brand images to be congruent with consumers' self-concepts reflect the general practice of market segmentation. Marketers identify patterns of self-concepts residing in specific demographic groups and find media that communicate directly to these groups. Dove's Real Beauty campaign tried to bring an evolution to the world's perception of beauty. It addresses the odd self from others' perception about what women should feel about themselves, meaning women should feel comfortable in their own skin and that their perception of beauty should not be based off distorted celebrities' images. On the one hand, the old self Dove addresses created a communication that consistent with consumers' actual self-concept, which has rich associative networks in their memories. This will help consumers remember or recall Dove's name and products. On the other hand, Dove branding itself as a communicator of real beauty follows the cognition, affect, behavior hierarchy of effect. For the segmentation of consumers who want to show off their natural beauty, after they watch the campaign's video and other campaign relative materials, consumers will be aware of Dove's unique positioning of promoting real beauty. In the discrepancy of actual on versus odd from others, consumers will feel good about buying a beauty product from a brand that promotes embracing imperfections, that buying Dove become a way of filling the gap. This then leads to purchasing behavior. The self-discrepancy theory points out that we should notice the gap between different self-concepts and the importance of distinguish different needs, whether it's duty from the odd self or demands from ideal self. The concept provides a way for marketers to find better way to communicate with consumers and therefore affect their purchasing behavior. However, the theory doesn't really tell marketers which self-concept to embrace, because consumers on the one hand tend to maintain or act in accordance with their self-concept, on the other hand try to enhance their self-concept. Both aspects coexist within an individual. Marketers will have to identify the solutions tackling different tasks.